Thank you so much for joining us and running us through what you're making of things. 80 points, by the way, 17,744. By the way, the market's come off a little bit and things are looking a little off the highs.
It was an exuberant start,
yeah.
so just about 20 points off highs.
Yeah, we closer to the day low, by the way, now is what, 17,735. And we're at 17,745. So closer to the lows than to the high. The high has been made at 17,815 today. So off by a fair bit. Now, the one space which perhaps will see a fair bit of announcements, and the government is very clear in terms of pushing this, is renewables, new energy, green hydrogen. We have someone who, will be able to explain to us in a very nice, simple way what all of this would mean and what should we expect from this space in the budget. Ashish Bhandari is Managing Director and CEO at Thermax. Ashish, great to have you with us here. Thank you very much. As I said, I mean, the key word there is simple, because this is a new space. We only learn from when we speak with you and others like you, Ashish. But in this space, this new energy space, green hydrogen, etc., what should we look out for in the union budget today? Is it allocations? Is it new policy reform? What exactly? Go on. Morning.
Good morning to you and to all your viewers. As the announcement early in January pointed out, the government's allocating 20,000 crores towards building a new hydrogen or a green hydrogen economy in India. I suspect in this budget, we will start to see some details of this coming out, though it wouldn't be a surprise if we don't see too many details now, but details will surely come in forthcoming quarters. The couple of big things people are looking for is, one, a specific allocation for PLI to build electrolyzers in India. Okay. So this would be a manufacturing-based PLI, of which the broad contours have already been circulated. Now the expectation is the formal PLI will come out very soon, and this budget will show an allocation towards that PLI from a government perspective. Okay. The second thing is to kickstart some of these hydrogen projects, the government's allocated the majority of those 20,000 crores for. So the form that this kickstart will take, whether it is VGF, which is gap funding for projects, whether it is specific debt financing for these projects, some of those details will become available. Okay. The third part is allocation for some what is called as hydrogen valley-based projects, which are demonstration projects across India. What kind of funding will be available? There is an announcement that is expected on that front as well. Finally, which I don't think will come in the budget, will come out separately, is mandatory requirements for certain industries, especially refining, fertilizer and city gas distribution, to use certain part of their needs from green hydrogen. Okay. So those are the four big buckets. I don't know if all of the first three buckets will get called out in the budget, but Ashish, surely one of
Got that. That's the basic premise on which we're going into the budget. But the last time we spoke, Ashish, you said that presently, green hydrogen and the rollout is not commercially viable because of the cost attached to it. Green hydrogen is still much more expensive than grey hydrogen. And you did mention that there is some amount of, course, subsidy support, etc. But the government can do a lot more to bring down the cost. Do you think there's anything on that front that you would expect in the budget?
Not sure, because some things are now partly part of the center. The bigger part, which I had said last time as well, the biggest cost of producing green hydrogen is actually the cost of electricity. And the cost of electricity is driven by where you produce electricity, which we are seeing can become as cheap as 2.5, 3 rupees. But then how do you get this electricity to the point at which you're producing hydrogen with the minimum amount of transmission charges and minimum cost? And that is partly the center subject, but in a bigger way, that is a state subject. And so I expect some of this will be the centers in the states working together in terms of how do you cut down some of these additional costs that are involved in electricity transportation in getting this to the point at which you're providing electricity. Once you get it to the point at which you can provide electricity, then cost of electrolyzers, cost of water, some of the other balance of plant, all of these other elements come into play. That with manufacturing and scale, we can bring down the cost of substantially. By most counts, electrolyzers will become less than half the cost effectively within a 3-year period of time. Yeah, by becoming more efficient, economies of scale, all of those, and including local production, all of those other kinds of things. So there's a lot of technology and manufacturing scale element also that's at play. The biggest place where government can help is focus on the electricity part and getting the demand generation, which is getting certain industries to mandatorily use green hydrogen.
Yeah, no, point taken, Ashish. I'm just wondering whether the budget will only make a broad sweep of statement. In the past, they have not gone into the nitty-gritties of a PLI, whether it's for electrolyzers or for anything. That's usually come outside the budget. So probably today we may get a big capex number and an announcement of preference for, climate change catalyzers like green hydrogen. Perhaps we won't get the nitty-gritties, but yes, that is an important theme, even if you look at the economic survey. Thank you very much, Ashish. We will touch base with you to understand the details as and when they are announced. There's a goodish bit